Hi everyone, it's Todd. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be discussing language. Now, language is always an interesting topic. People have tons of different preferences for how they like to be addressed, but today we're just going to kind of go over those terms as it pertains to disability and the connotations that they have, what they mean, and all of that good stuff. So if you're interested in that, definitely keep on watching. All right, the first thing we're going to be talking about is person first versus identity first language. So as it pertains to disability, person first language means that you are referring to the person before their disability. So an example of this would be saying person with a disability. Identity first language means that you are referring to the identity before the person. So an example of this would be disabled person. Now, both of these forms of language have different connotations, and disabled people everywhere all have our own individual preferences. But as a disabled person myself, I prefer to say that I am disabled. That's my personal preference. I don't think disabled is a bad word. I don't think we need to skirt around it. I know I'm disabled. I know that my body does not function the way it was made to function. And I know that I encounter societal barriers because of my disability. So I am disabled. It doesn't bother me to refer to myself that way. I prefer when people refer to me as disabled rather than person with a disability. Now, for the larger community, the disabled community as a whole, it seems like we are leaning more towards identity first language, which is great. We're acknowledging, like I said just now, that disabled isn't a bad word. We shouldn't feel ashamed of our disabilities. We should be proud of our disabilities. We should accept our disabilities. We should acknowledge them. So I think that's a great move. But that is not to say that every disabled person prefers to be referred to as disabled. Some people prefer to be referred to as a person with a disability, and that's their individual choice, and we shouldn't be correcting their choice. As someone like me who prefers identity first language, I am not going to go around and be like, you should use identity first language. Don't use person first language, because at the end of the day, it's every individual's choice and we need to respect that. But when it comes to the community, it does seem like we are venturing more towards identity first language. So I think that we need to just respect every individual's choice. So yes, it's very important to respect every individual's choice when it comes to language, but that is the gist between person first and identity first language. Identity first language is just becoming more mainstream, it seems, which is a great step for the community. I think I really do like that that is becoming more accepted, but I will stress again, we do still need to accept that some people might prefer person first language, and that's totally okay. Now, other forms of language include more outdated terms like handicapped, crippled, the R word. We don't say the R word. That is not an acceptable word to say. It is very offensive. That word should not be part of our vocabulary. That is not an acceptable term to use. No. But as far as handicapped and crippled go, I personally find crippled offensive. I would not like it if someone referred to me as crippled. It's just a very outdated term. I think it sounds just like when I hear it, I get this image of like something that's like broken, and I'm not broken, I'm disabled. There's a difference. So I really don't like that term. When it comes to handicapped, I think that term is used more widely when we're referring to parking and like public accessibility, and I'm not really sure why that is, but I prefer to just say accessible parking, accessible restroom, things like that, instead of handicapped. That word just like kind of makes me cringe. It's too outdated. I really don't like it. It kind of has a negative connotation. Just really not a good term in my opinion. So we have those first two forms of language, the identity first and person first. Then we have these outdated terms. And then we have the new condescending terms. We have handy capable and indifferently abled. I despise both of these terms. I've made a video talking all about the term differently abled. I will link it up at the top for you all if you want to watch that one. But both of these terms just like, they have so many problems. They have so many negative connotations. Handy capable, that is so condescending and patronizing. Why do you need to have the word capable in a term referring to us to realize we are capable? You should be able to refer to us as disabled and know that we're still capable. So the fact that you need that reminder to know that we're capable is just wrong on so many levels. And then with differently abled, I could go on and on forever, but the main gist of why I don't like differently abled is because, for one thing, it is very condescending and patronizing, but it also sets the disabled community farther apart from non-disabled people. It makes us seem like we're different, like we're the others, when really we're just human beings. Our bodies just need a little extra help. We're not necessarily like different people. And I always bring this up too. Every person on this earth is differently abled. We're all good at different things. We all have different abilities. I'm good at writing, someone else might not be. I'm horrible at drawing, someone else might be amazing at drawing. So we don't need to act like disabled people are the only ones with different abilities. That's just ridiculous. We all have different abilities. So both of these terms are pretty problematic. I really don't like these terms. Really, when it comes down to it, language is important. We have words for a reason. I've had someone tell me that they're just words, it doesn't matter, stop overthinking it. But I strongly disagree with that because words have a purpose. Why else would we have words if they didn't have a purpose? And we have multiple different terms because they each have their own connotation. Differently abled technically means the same thing as disabled, but it comes with all of this baggage. It comes with such negative implications, which is why many of us don't prefer to use that term. So saying they're just words is not a good thing to say because words have meaning, words have purpose, and each individual word we use to describe something matters. When we are describing something, the words we chose for a reason. We choose to say, I'm happy instead of elated, because happy maybe doesn't connote as much joy as elated does. We might choose to say elated when we are overly joyful. So our choices of words definitely matter, and we choose them for a reason. So all of this to say, this was just a brief overview of language. Language is important. We need to be thinking about the words, terms we are using because they do matter. They are important. They affect people's perception of us and our own perception of us as disabled people. But I do want to say that if you are disabled and you like some of the terms like differently abled and you prefer to refer to yourself that way, then that's your choice. And I'm not going to tell you that you can't refer to yourself that way because hello, that's your choice. So just because I dislike the term differently abled for myself doesn't mean that you cannot refer to yourself as differently abled if that's what you choose and that's what you like. So all of that said, I really hope that this was informative and interesting for you all. Please comment down below. If you are disabled, how do you prefer to be referred to? Do you like person-first language, identity-first language? What do you think about the outdated terms, the somewhat condescending terms? But yeah, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please do give it a like, leave me a comment, hit that subscribe button, and remember to hit that notification bell so you never miss a video of mine. I post new videos every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern and sometimes Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern. So I hope to see you at the next one. Bye!